He's pretty smart though, and he just does something I didn't really expect. He just boots my ass down.
He comes to behind the head. That's it.
We are breaking down the last fight I ever had and likely ever will have, unless somebody wants to pay me like millions of dollars to fight one of these YouTubers, which I might do. But other than that, this is the last fight that I ever will have against Rustam Khabilov. Unfortunately, I lost it. It was a decision, so just by having a decision, I lost the fight. But it was contested. Like, a lot of people said that this was the worst decision of 2018. It like made some article or whatever. So you can make your own decision about that. But this is a video in which I took a lot of the knowledge that I gained from losing to Makhachev and then implemented it. And this was only 5 weeks later. 5 weeks after I fought Islam. I fought Rustam Khabilov, his teammate, right? Probably senior training partner. Although I don't think Rustam is quite as good as Islam. He's not quite as big and his game isn't quite as diverse. He's still very skilled. He's got wins over guys like Masvidal. Very difficult to beat. Very, very difficult to beat. He's very good at winning decisions. And unfortunately, he was able to decision me in this fight. However, you can see a lot of the knowledge that I gained in that Islam fight is applied here. And you're going to be able to see a lot of the ways that I'm entangling his body as far as like how active my guard is, the attacks that I'm using, how I'm completely refusing to accept any takedowns. Yeah, just mindset things. Also where I'm placed. Where I'm placed on the cage, you're gonna see that I'm fighting for the middle a little bit more than I normally would, even though I'm moving around the outside. I wanted to make sure that the wrestler is not able to put my back on the wall. So we're gonna look at this and see what exactly happened. So I've got like a 2.5 inch reach advantage on him. That's kind of consistent again across my career. I usually had a bit of a reach advantage. I don't think I ever fought somebody with longer reach than me. That helped. Especially because I like to fight outside. I like to be outside. It definitely helped. Bill the Butcher in my corner, always in my corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Also, Bryce Goujon. Shout out to my homie Bryce. He really held me down this week. Just came to Moscow with me and just let me beat him up for like a week straight. So I think Rustam might have been one of the first Dagestanis to really break out into the UFC. He came in, he was just, for those of you that don't know, right, he was throwing everybody. He supplayed this one guy right on his head like 3 times or something in a row and just like colded him. And that was like his like first fight in the UFC. The guy's an OG, he's very, very skilled. So I knew that he was a righty, right? And I was gonna fight him a little bit more as a southpaw. You can see already I'm keeping the center more. He is able to move me back just because I'm so long. I gotta keep that length. But I'm still like around the black lines. I'm trying to keep my back away from that wall, as I know as soon as I get to that wall, he's gonna be able to grip me. Okay, and there you see some people are talking smack about how I said not to spin. Here's how you throw a low kick and don't spin, right? You just switch your stance momentarily. You miss, you switch your stance, and then you go back. That way, the person doesn't get your back. If you're fighting a wrestler and you're spinning around after every kick, the guy's gonna take your back and you're gonna get slammed on your head, especially if it's Rustam Khabilov. You let this guy behind you, you're getting slammed on your noggin for sure. Yeah, see, exactly. That's what he loves throwing people. He's a huge fan of throwing. That's that 1-3-2. Okay, so I really like this combination. It's pretty basic, but it works really well. 1-3-2. We describe it heavily in the course. So if you're looking for a really in-depth explanation, take a look at that. But the 1 to the 3 is really quick. It's like bang bang, right? Almost faster than a double jab. So it sets the right hand up really well. Bang, yeah, super long, real full extension. Always using long weapons, using that long attacking teep, the attacking side kick, right? I choose the side kick and open. Check him with a head kick. I knew that he couldn't kick with me. Like most people, they can't kick with me. They can't be way outside with me. They got to get in close. He's got to get to my leg. He's got to take me down. He's got to get through a lot of different lines of defense here in order to do so. Man, I'm so skinny. Ooh, that was a cool little shift. Okay, so we're actually working this with the comp team recently. Throwing the cross from a closed stance and then shifting to southpaw while getting under. And then throwing the lead hook and then the rear leg head kick. Boom, bang. Yeah, he picked it off, but still just chipping away from long range. Still a lot more in the center than we saw in the Islam fight. Way more in the center. I actually wanted to get him to the fence, but in this fight, I still didn't really understand how to pressure people. Like, I understood that, okay, if I don't want to let the wrestler grip me, then I got to back him up. But I still didn't really understand how to do that. It was just not something that was never really taught to me. Usually, I figured people that just have crazy amounts of power are gonna be, you're gonna back up when you feel that power. But there's more to it than that. I feel there's a lot more to it than that. And since this fight, like this is like 5 years ago, right? 2018, yeah, it's like 5 years ago. So I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot since this time. But even with the limited knowledge that I had back then, the change that I was able to make is drastic. Going from how I fought Islam to how I'm fighting here. Super stoked on that. It's working really well. My head's kind of in the wrong spot a little bit. I didn't really understand southpaw as deeply as I thought I did at the time. You can see here my head's kind of right in the center. If he was a little longer, he could probably find me with his cross. You can see where my lead leg is. I'm outside his foot line, but my head isn't really outside of the shoulder lines. Like, it's still in between the shoulders, right? How I would fight him now, I'd square up a lot more, and that'll put me closer to my left hand, and it'll also put my head way over here, outside his front shoulder, which is a much better spot to have your head in an open stance. Looking for that check hook. Yeah, I could have been a little more busy with the jab. MMA fights are a lot of the times a little bit of a slower pace than a boxing fight just because there's so many more things to worry about. At least if people are measured. Obviously, some people just go to war. If you're smart and you know that CTE is a thing, then it's not usually just a crazy scrap session. At least if you can help it. The way I thought, I was thinking like, if you can make it a fight, I already lost. Not lost, but I already... That's not desirable. I'm trying to make sure that I'm just playing a game the whole time. See where that head kick came from. It's just like a little question mark, the back leg. Yeah, so I stole that from, I think Connor actually. I watched Connor a decent amount for this fight. But as soon as I get the angle here, you see I just kind of run back in almost a straight line into the center of the octagon. Right, in order to make sure I'm holding the space. Yeah, he caught me with the left hook there. So I threw the left hand and I was shifting into my right hook. Well, I'm pulling my hand way too far back, but I got clipped because my hand was down, right? I'm getting clipped here with the left hook. It wasn't serious. I went right into the check hook, got out of the space, kept my back off the fence. Side kick to the leg. This dude had kind of crappy knees, so I'm attacking his legs, obviously. Some people think that's dumb or dishonorable or whatever, but there's no honor in combat, man. Not like that anyway. Like, maybe with how you're talking to the person and the level of respect you hold for them, but if you have a weakness, I'm gonna exploit it. That's the whole purpose of martial arts, is to exploit the other person's weakness. Ooh, drifting to the center line here on the jab, and then again with that 1-3-2. Bang! Nice and long. Stung him with that one. Yeah, this guy is not reaching me at all. Ooh, almost ran into that reverse pendulum. Yeah, he was shooting at the same time, so I threw reverse pendulum, right? I think we shot this for the course. The person's shooting and we reverse pendulum with the uppercut. If I had used the uppercut here, it would have been perfect. I was throwing the overhand. I didn't think it was a shot actually, but because instead of just planting and throwing the cross, I'm doing a reverse pendulum action with the overhand, okay, I end up further away than he expects, and it's pretty easy to deflect the takedown. Right, like he was trying to get down into my legs there, but you can see I got a good angle. Boom. Able to back shift again. Could have hit a cross there too. Caught him with a little left hand there on the inside. Yeah. Yeah, this guy just has no idea where the hell I'm going to be. Like, he really has no idea. I know a lot of you don't really know who I am, never really watch my fights. Okay, just try to like focus on what the hell my feet are doing, okay, because it's not super obvious. But These footwork patterns that I'm using are highly complex and highly complicated. There's a whole bunch of different motions that are going into it. I'm actually trying to teach it to my team now, and it's not super easy even to just teach. There's a lot of moving pieces, but watch the footwork here on how easy it is to evade these strikes while you're moving like that and switching stances. Jabs from center line, back shift, boom to the side kick, back the other way, back shift, and reverse pivot away from that spinning hook kick or spinning back kick or whatever the heck it was that he threw there. Boom! Man, savage head kick. He just caught a piece of that. Okay, if he didn't catch a little piece of that with his hand, he would have been sleeping. So I hop to the foot line. I hop the foot line on with a gazelle hook. Right, and then I'm throwing that rear leg head kick. Boom. He just got his hand up. Just got his hand up. But also, the way I'm throwing that head kick, there's a little bit that's pulled back. My hip isn't really driving through. You can see the angle of my hip here isn't ideal. That should be protruded forward a little bit more. My bottom leg, my standing leg, isn't pivoting as much as it should be. I should be turning on the ball of my foot a little bit more to bring that hip across a little bit more, and then it wouldn't have mattered if he blocked it or not, right? If I had thrown this kick perfectly, it wouldn't have mattered if he blocked this. He would have been sleeping, and nobody would have been talking about Islam Makhachev because I would have came back and beat him. Right at the end of the round. Nice way to finish the round. Bill Mahood, what a beast. He doesn't know how to do half the stuff that I'm doing, but he understands fighting very, very, very deeply, right? He understands my style deeply, even though he can't do it himself, okay? He can see the shots that are there. He was saying when I throw the side kick to the leg, he keeps slipping his leg back and his head is coming down. So the teep is there. The rear leg teep or front kick to the face off the scissor will work, kind of like a Lyoto Machida type kick. Watch what happens. Watch for that shot, right? Fake side kick and then coming up with the Machida kick.
He's been looking for that. Talk to me about the Machida kick that the Johnson corner are after, Paul. They wanted to throw that front kick instead of the body.
Yeah, that kick right there.
To the chin.
It was right there. I just missed it. Again, I missed it, right? That would have annihilated him. And then unfortunately, I don't even go and throw it again. I didn't even try it again after that. I forgot about it. Yeah, I'm using the check hook or the spin-off hook a lot to get out of the spaces. Southpaw, and then spinning off with that Cuban style check hook. I fake down, I bring the kick up, and then he shoots. When I shoot, I'm making sure that I find frames right away. Okay, this is gonna be in the course, so make sure you're opting in and getting these details, okay? Because we go into this heavily, how to use all your different frames, what range to use which frame in, and then different things that you can chain together afterwards. Easy pulls off the line. Really hard for him to reach me with that right hand. Although Rustam's boxing was pretty good. Rustam's boxing is highly underrated. People just think about his wrestling. He can't kick for the life of him, or he doesn't also have a guard. But his boxing is actually quite good. When I told Firas about the fight initially, Firas was like, oh, he's a pretty good boxer. You make sure your hands are tight, right? But my movement patterns, just as I'm saying it, are too good, but not completely, right? You can always get caught. Yeah, he doubled up. 2 gazelles in a row, you're going to be able to cover a lot of distance, right? So he throws left hook, which actually caught me on the gazelle, on the inside of the hand, caught me here. Okay, and then comes in again with another one, and then the overhand and left hook. I think the overhand might have landed. I had my shoulder up like this, so I picked the hooks off my hand. Still though, he's got decent boxing. Now we see the first real connection on a shot. Okay, this is smart, right? You think about what his mindset might be. He just hit me with a bunch of punches, right? So now I'm gonna try to retaliate, whatever. That's gonna be a great time for him to change direction and try to take me down, right? Because now I'm gonna be a little bit more committed on my punching possibly, and he can use that to time a single, and he does, right? He gets in with the high crotch or head outside single. I started turning around the corner. He lifts my leg up. I'm creating frames. I'm keeping him far away. Now, a lot of the time people will elect to like sprawl that heavily. I'll allow my leg to get lifted, the ankle to get lifted at least, because I'm very flexible and I don't have a problem defending takedowns up there. It's very, very hard to get me down by just lifting my foot high, right? Which he's seeing here, right? I've got frames, I'm like hopping back across the octagon. He's just trying to close that distance. And then I was able to get my foot in front of him, right? Here, I've gotten the flat of my foot in front of him. It's on his chest. And now I'm gonna start pushing away. One push away, remove the leg. And now, yeah, looking for that spin-off hook again as he comes in. And we're in the clinch. I've been able to get my head position in the clinch. I've got good, strong hip position. I'm not getting thrown. I'm not going to be like that. I'm looking to turn him and exit. Yeah, I get enough space off the wall. I change that underhook into a frame. I'm going to start framing his hip and leaving. Okay, he was smart though, and because I was leaving, he took the opportunity to hit me with an exit shot. Bang. So I would say so far Rustam's winning this round. Oh, he gets in again off a lazy left hand. So as he got in, I was able to at least get an underhook, start trying to lift him up, stomp my feet down. Yeah, stomping my feet down. He's smart though. He's got really, really good sambo. Okay, so he's going to, I don't even know what kind of a foot sweep that would be called. I don't know. I'm sure it's like, looks like Kasodogari or Kasodogaki. Somebody tell me, some judo person, tell me what takedown this is. When your your leg is behind his leg, but your foot is connected to the back of the standing leg. Okay, he was able to use it and it worked, but you can see right away, I make him land on a spring. I keep my legs apart and I elevate them. Boom, I elevate him, and now I'm getting into that cross-ashi type, senkaku type entanglement in order to sweep. So this is the entanglement I was trying to get to with Makhachev, wasn't able to, but this time I had the timing down. It's easier, although he was smart enough to underhook my hip there, which makes it more difficult to finish that leg. Okay, that arm under my leg here, yeah, it kind of screws me over. But I just triangle it. Yeah, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just gonna triangle your leg then. This is actually like a 50-50 position. I didn't understand the 50-50 leg entanglement near as well as I do now. I'm still doing all right here, but there's a lot of different things that I could be doing that I'm not really doing, right? Like I'm not keeping them, keeping the space as much. What I was doing is I wasn't letting him hit me, right? I was able to keep enough distance with my hip in order to stop him from hitting me. I also have his front arm entangled so he can't really reach me. And then right away I'm going to those grips, right? He turned around. Anytime the person's above you, always try to up kick, right? It can be really, you can catch people slipping a lot of the time. Okay, like I just caught him, he came down, triangle, he gets out of the triangle. Like I'm always working here, trying to land little elbows, push his head one way, elbow, work on getting to clamp. Yeah, onto an omoplata here. I should have been attacking the leg a little bit more in this round, and we'll see why a little later. But yeah, at this point, I've gone attack, and now he's like really solidified on me. The pace has calmed down. I'm gonna have to create some motion, and if I want to try to keep attacking. But another way to create motion is actually to stall. I'm overhooking his head, I'm hooking his arm, I'm making sure that it's very difficult for him to punch me with anything that's dangerous. I'm keeping him close to me. I'm locking him up. What I'm forcing is for eventually the ref to stand us up. So if I tie him up and nothing happens for long enough, the ref's gonna stand us up. So that's gonna make him have to react. So if I lock him up, I'm like, okay, I'm down to stand up. If he wants to keep me there, now he has to start extending and throwing and creating motion and movement in order to advance his position or work towards a finish, right? Otherwise, the ref's just gonna get us up. So I can use any of that motion and movement that he's creating to my advantage as well, because I'm the one initiating the lockup. I know it's coming. I know he's gonna wanna try to get out. Yeah, my head is up against the fence. There are positions, ways you can create angles here. Okay, we're gonna go into this in the course as well. The anti-wrestler course, which is you get as a part of the pro fight guide, right? So there, I'm hitting that wall walk in the arm bar we talk about. That does open us up though. As soon as I open up for an attack, now that stall clock starts going again. So, okay, so see he's pushing off my face. Him pushing off my face can be a really good thing because that can, lead me to armbar attacks. He's got good armbar defense, so he's good at just sneaking that elbow out, right? It wasn't super easy to attack his upper body, okay? But it does set up other options, like I could have got to K-guard there. Yeah, somebody told me before that that I shouldn't really worry too much about the leg lock, that I should really focus on looking to armbar him and triangle him. But this guy has bad knees and like he sucks at defending leg locks, right? A whole bunch of other people told me that I should leg lock him because he sucks at leg locks, right? People that had trained with him. But I, for some reason, listened to this other guy and I missed some serious availabilities, right? I missed some right there, right? I could definitely go into K-guard here. He's way up, postured up. His hips are forward. There's lots of space between his heel and his butt. I should be able to weave my arm under and then get one of my feet into his armpit, kick him away, and start attacking that leg. But I didn't. I just went back and tried a triangle and then another armbar and then another triangle. And when he's down on me here, then the triangle is the right answer. But as he postures like that, I should be going to the leg more. This is funny. I do this thing where when people stand over me, I invert my guard. Because if I don't invert my guard, my head is actually way more available for them to punch. And they have a lot of power they can generate. So when people stand over me, instead of lying on my back supine, I will get to my shoulder in like a kind of breakdance pose and invert my guard, daring them to come in and try to grab my leg so that I could either kick them in the face with this weird up back kick, or I can attack their leg. Unfortunately, he did something that was pretty smart, right? You can see here, I'm gonna flip up, boom, and I do this like weird little breakdance pose. Now it's not completely breakdance pose because I have my knee on the ground, but you can see that there's a lot of structure here, right? His pass to punch me in the face is actually pretty shitty. Like he can't really punch me in the face. I've even got this arm up here as a frame. So as he comes in, I'm gonna try to donkey kick him in the head if he dares to come in, or I'm gonna use one of my arms to grab his leg and whoosh, right into a leg lock. He's pretty smart though, and he just does something I didn't really expect. He just boots my ass down. Yeah, we do some weird shaking and stuff. I don't know. I thought that was a really funny moment. Yeah. Here, come here. And then no. Yeah, and this is the end of the round here. He got the takedown. He was able to control top position. He might have landed a right hand off the hop of the round. Okay, I had some longer kicks that worked. I hit him with some shots as well, but I think he definitely won that round. So it's 1-1 going into round 3, right? And yes, I did get to, for the second time, get to fight against the man, the myth, the legend, Khabib's dad. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not gonna try. But Khabib's dad was maybe probably the best MMA coach that's ever lived after Bill Mahood. But he, like, fantastic, legend. I got to talk to him a little bit after the fight too, so that was really cool. I'll always remember that. Ooh, yeah, slid back with the hook there. Boom. We both landed there. Right, he came in with the left hook and I reverse pendulum. We both landed. Yeah, definitely. Frustration is very useful, right? Annoy and destroy was one of my favorite tactics.
Was constantly trying to reach the chin of Anderson Silva, falling slightly short.
Did they just compare me to Anderson Silva? Low-key my favorite fighter ever. Uwe going back upstairs with that left head kick. He's aware of it now. He got hit with it once. Always trying to go change up the levels. Bring the left hand to the head, next time bring the left hand to the body. Change up the levels on the kick too. Yeah, my conditioning was on point for this one. Even though I was vegan still, like an idiot. So dumb. Last year of fighting, all plant-based, like an idiot. Just follow the trends. Yeah, looking for that pendulum hook to the left hand. My southpaw, honestly, if I have to be honest with myself, my southpaw at this point is still pretty trash. It's a lot better now. It'll never get as good as my first stance is, but it kind of pisses me off seeing like my head positioning annoying me a little bit. Lots of feinting. Very important to keep your feints going throughout the match. Right, a lot of time people will come out feinting. There's that 1-3-2 again, and then slow down as the fight goes on. Less and less feints. There's that long frame shell working magic as almost always. Ooh, that fight just about finished right there. This is probably one of the biggest annoyances of my entire career, is that this wasn't just a little higher, a little lower. Okay, this would have been the coolest highlight reel knockout of my career, and the timing was great, right? He's actually trying to come in and throw this like Anderson Silva, that up elbow thing that Anderson made work and now everybody tries to do, but it never works. And again, it doesn't work for him. He runs right towards my left knee, right? You can see it's loaded up here. I'm just gonna like dagger this towards him. But unfortunately, it looks like it landed in a decent spot here, but it actually landed in the chest. And knee! So it hit him in like the pec. Super annoying. If it was just a little lower, right, that would have been straight liver. If it was just a little higher, it would have been straight to the face, okay, and sleeping. I was aiming for the body though. I was aiming for the body. I stopped a lot of people that camp with that exact weapon, but unfortunately, just a little off target. Super annoying. Timing was good though. Ooh, left hook, right hand lands. Ooh, oh, again. Again. I didn't know I did it twice. Oh, that was the one that landed in the chest. Maybe the first one did hit the body. Why didn't he die then? But as you can see, if this was just a little bit higher, man, definitely the biggest annoyance of my entire career is that. Oh, and ooh, no. Yeah, he thinks he's going to get me here. He's like, oh, I'm going to get the takedown, right? But I use this super secret technique that is also in the course that will defend lock double. Like, honestly, I don't really have any other defenses for lock double. It's really, really difficult to stop the guy once he's got you locked and you're going for the ride. But if you do this, if you do that, you can still keep that movement going. Right, and then a knee once he gets up. We're over halfway now. I've rocked him with multiple shots. Okay, I defended his takedowns. He's definitely not winning this round so far. I don't think he's done anything to win this round at all. Shifting under, bringing that hook as I go under.
What Khabilov has done very, very well in his career is make his opponents look very ordinary and very bad. But Johnson's done a good job here. He's got he hit him and tried to bump him over.
Yeah, he thought he could get me down there too. Nope. So he's able to get in. He gets a grip on my leg. I cross-face his head to the inside and then poster coming out. Reverse pendulum out. Tried to find him with the right hand. Missed, but back in space. Ooh, I remember this point. I was starting to get a little bit more fatigued. Right? I think pretty close something happens. Yeah. It was right after that head kick. I had just took a little mental break, and this is all the time that you get to have a mental break. You don't get any time, right? And bang, right away. That's super annoying. After that head kick, I was like, oh, I feel a little bit tired, right? And I wasn't really thinking. I just went to a default combination, which was the jab cross. I was just planning to throw a lot of jab crosses from southpaw, and I just kind of went to the default and didn't really have my mind really switched on make sure you defend the takedown. He's still coming up to take you down. So he gets that takedown, and we're down. It's a minute and 20 seconds. I have been winning this round to this point, for sure. I get back to my closed guard. I lock him down. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to wait for a stand-up. I'm ahead on the points, so you need to work, right? Yeah, and he kind of walks me back to the wall. He wants me on the fence. Okay, so he's still, it's a minute now, that little shot landed, but okay, at the 1 minute mark left in the round, he still hasn't really done anything that should score this round for him. He's gotten one takedown. He's gotten lit up on the feet. He's gotten hurt with the knee. It is not a good round for him by any means. If he hasn't won yet, I don't know how he's gonna win. Nice little short shot there. He was able to strip the grip on his arm, give me a nice little shot. Okay, you can see I'm walking that fence again, getting that angle, which even if I don't get the arm, it'll help me keep my head off of the fence. He actually started talking to me here. You stay down all round now. You stay down all round. So it's kind of like, oh yeah? Okay, well have some of this then. I start like using my guard much more aggressively. Boom, here's my armbar attack, and then start punching him, right? And then triangle, he postures, right? He postures, I'm hand fighting. Okay, he comes back down. Yeah, boom, another triangle. After this triangle, finally, I was smart enough to use that posture to go to under that leg to K-guard. Boom. And it's not really a perfect K-guard, but because I'm heavily committed, it's still gonna work. You see there, I'm sliding my right leg under his leg. And now that was the key that I needed. I grab that heel, right? I get that end of the lever, and boom. And again, he's got his arm in there. He's got his arm in there, but that doesn't matter, man. I've got my legs together. My legs are locking his leg, immobilizing it. And here I'm digging the heel. Boom, I got the heel. He's pretty much done here, right? He doesn't have a lot of moves. He could start running from it and rolling away, but just as I start arching, man. Just as I get to it, lock it, start arching. That entire round, he hit me with one ground and pound shot, little short right hand, and he hit the takedown. That was his only offense. Now, the takedown wasn't impactful enough to hurt, so how the judges are meant to score is when damage is even, control will win, right? But if damage isn't even, then control doesn't really matter. Whoever gets damaged most is gonna lose, right? So I definitely hit him with more shots that caused damage. He got a takedown. Super annoying. Yeah, and anybody that knows the outside circumstances surrounding this fight, you know that I'm like crapping my pants. Like, oh, if I don't win this fight, it's probably my last one. Man, I'm skinny. Trying to do positive affirmations here. I am victorious. I am victorious.
29-28 Johnson. 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Rustam Tiger Khabilov.
Not really sure. Not really sure how that was scored like that. I don't really understand how they have him winning. How anybody had him winning the third round. He definitely didn't win the first. He didn't do anything. I landed the shots. Second round, he won for sure. There's no way he won that third round. And then that was the end of my UFC contract. And poof, into the coaching world. Yeah, I tried to shop around the different organizations a bit. But because I was coming off back-to-back losses, right? That's a loss. So because I lost my last two fights, organizations like one were like, nah, go on a winning streak, go get 3 fights, go on a winning streak, and then we'll want you. And I was just like, yo, I'm 34 years old. I've got like, I don't know, 40 fights, right? I know what I just did. Just watch the fight if you want to see my resume and make sure that I'm good enough for your organization. If I'm here and I still have to prove myself, I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm gone. And so that was it. That's it. That's the last one. And very likely never go back. I will definitely never go back to like high level, elite level competition. Like, my body just can't handle it. In order for me to fight, I would essentially have to just do cardio and do the type of training that I do now as a coach, which is like I train once a day, and it's not for 4 hours, right? I train once a day for like an hour and a half, 2 hours max, and that's it. That's all I need to do. And if I feel bad, like if I feel like sick or something like that, or I feel like I'm injured, then I don't train, right? I don't train that day. I wait until my body feels good and I feel healthy, and then I train. And if you want to compete at an elite level, then you need to be training through when you don't really feel like training. You got to train through that. I'm not doing that anymore. My body just can't handle it. But I'm still happy with how I was able to turn on a dime in 5 weeks and go from just outside footwork and blitzing attacks, switching stance attacks, into a much more foundational type of approach, and having a lot of the tools, the newly acquired tools or newly acquired methods, having them work for me. It made sure that I knew that I could solve the problem, right? After this fight, after this performance, I was like, okay, I get it now. Now I'm on the right track, and I just have to keep going. Which is why I say things like, oh, I think I could beat Islam, because for the last 5 years, I've been continuing to go down the rabbit hole that was opened up here with the loss to Islam, and then with this performance. The proof that I found in this performance to the efficacy of the rabbit hole that I was following. And I just kept going down that rabbit hole. If you want to see where that rabbit hole leads, okay, you're going to have to get the anti-wrestler course and opt into the pro fight guide, because this doesn't stop with just how to beat wrestlers. It's how to beat power punching strikers, how to utilize outside kick range in MMA, utilize things like Taekwondo and karate in MMA, how to utilize the clinch in MMA, how to ground and pound properly. How many of you guys have ever been taught how to ground and pound? Probably haven't, probably zero, or at least like something super low, like 2 or 3% of you have actually learned how to ground and pound. And that's because most people have never been taught it themselves, so they don't know how to teach it. A lot of coaches just regurgitate information that was told to them, right? But I love to discover things in my own personal experience and own personal practice, and then systematize them and then teach them to my fighters, who then can go and test again. Did we go in the right direction? Did we get it right? So there's gonna be a lot of value in that pro fight guide. It's a pretty low price point right now for what you're gonna get. It's a lifetime membership to this platform. And we're trying to create this pretty insane platform, which is just a place to accumulate all of the knowledge that I have acquired in the last 21 years, right? Which I competed a lot at a very high level. I spanned many generations. So I started fighting in like the very early days when it was still no holds barred, and everything was kind of like bare bones and specialists. Everybody was like a wrestling specialist or Taekwondo or a boxer or whatever. Right now, everybody's MMA fighters. But like, I've gone through all of those different generations and was able to remain current within all of them. So I have a lot of understandings that some people may not have, right? Many of your coaches, I'm sure, have some experience in the ring, but there's very few people that have experienced all that I've experienced. As far as the ups and the downs and the and being able to train with very, very elite level coaches. I was very blessed to get high level coaching, not in the very beginning. Got a great coach in Bill Mahood, but not technically, but the technique that I was able to acquire from like Firas Zahabi, of course, Georges St. Pierre, and Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall is like hugely impactful in my style. Tony Pep, Coulter Gill, Paul Lalonde. Some of these names you may know, some of them you don't know. But that's a crazy thing, right? Is a lot of the time, some of the best martial artists that you ever meet, nobody's ever heard of, right? Some of the best strikers that I've ever worked with, nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows who Moise Rimbon is. Go and look him up, Moise Rimbon. Guy's nuts, dude. He's sick. Super, super sick, so diverse, right? And I got to work with so many of these guys. And that's why I've been able to acquire the amount of knowledge that I've acquired, right? And if you're able to opt into this pro fight guide, like, you will benefit over we're gonna keep going until I'm dead. So for years, for decades, you're gonna be benefiting off of one buy-in from you. You're gonna be benefiting for decades, right? Because we're not gonna stop creating this content, man. This is my new addiction, so I'm gonna keep going. Hope you guys found that valuable. Thanks for stopping by. See you later, San Diego. Peace.